Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to a match here on WWE 2K25. This one is Mil Máscaras taking on Penta in a battle of luchadors across the generations. Mil Máscaras, where's he wrestled in the past? I'm assuming everywhere, to be honest with you. Acting career, wrestling career. There's not a ton of information about him, actually, on Wikipedia, wrestling-wise. He obviously did some work. What, did he debut in 1963? He debuted. Wow. Okay. I didn't realise it was going that long, to be honest. Debuted in 1963. He's part of the WWE Hall of Fame as of 2012. Wrestled in the likes of AJPW, WWE, of course, the WWF. I think he was involved in the Royal Rumble in the mid-90s, I believe. He made wrestling appearances in the 80s and 90s for World Wrestling Council, WCW as well. He had a match against Cactus Jack at Clash of Champions in 1990 at WCW. Okay, so yeah, a very big history. I mean, just look at his championships. I can't see where he's actually worked, to be honest. I'm assuming he must have worked for CMLL or AAA, one of the two. But he hasn't won any championships for either of them, but hey-ho. Either way, he in our universe mode, that's more important. Let's check the old ranking system doodah. He has had 2 matches so far in the past, and he's currently on a +1. So he had 1 match in 2021, which he lost, and he had 1 match in 2023, which he won. Well, I don't know if he did win it or not, but he gained 2 points from it. It may have been an elimination style match. He may gain himself a couple of points. I'm not 100% sure. But either way, he sits on +1 after 2 matches. And then we have this man right here, Penta El Zero Miedo. 38 matches in a universe mode. Currently sits on a +2. He's -1 for the year after 4 matches. Interesting then with Penta. It's great to see Penta in the game. We always say that. It's really cool to see him on the game. I would like to have seen Phoenix in the game, to be honest, because I feel like Phoenix is the harder core out of the 2 to make. We always used to be able to get really good Penta cores last year. They're wrong. It's great having him on the game. It's just saved us like 100 bloody logos, but I think I would love to have Phoenix in the game, and it's still possible. The fact that Penta's on here, I suppose, but I know we have had El Grande Americano and Aleister Black put on the game as like surprise people, but in fairness, they were both pretty simple. They had a Malachi or Aleister model from a couple of years ago before he moved to AEW, so that was easy enough. And El Grande Americano, again, they're just utilising the same model that's in the game for somebody else to stick a new attire on them, so there's not really a lot of difference there, whereas Rey Fenix might be a bit more tough to do. So I expect him for 2K26, but there we go. Right then, let's get into the action. Mil Máscaras, yeah. He won NWA championships. He must have worked CMLL or AAA, surely. Let me have a look at CMLL. Mil Máscaras. Oh, he got some sort of award in CMLL. Well, what about you have to use him next week, I suppose, when we do one of our Hogan matches. Mil Máscaras versus Hogan seems like a... I tell you what, Mil Máscaras versus Hogan is actually one of the most Googled things. I don't think it has happened. There's plenty of matches here from YouTube channels, but I don't see an actual Mil Máscaras versus Hogan real life match. There was no recorded match between Mil Máscaras and Hulk Hogan. They all sort that out next week. However, Mil Máscaras did save Hogan in a battle royale in St. Louis in 1984. What about Mil Máscaras AAA then? Let's Google that one. I would have thought CMLL would have been the obvious one, to be honest, but... nothing comes up, to be honest. He's got quite a hidden past by the looks of it. Yeah, CMLL, he worked between 1999 to 2001. That looks like it, though, to be honest. Just that short period of time. We're going to use him in AAA anyway, why not? Bugger it. Let's throw balls to the wall. And he worked for WWF, therefore he can work for... he can do When Worlds Collide, that makes sense. Worked for WWF in 83 to 85. He worked across a lot of different territories across America and Japan as well, and Mexico, of course. So yeah. Penta now with a drop kick right into the chest. A super kick right into the Mil Máscaras. Yeah, both these guys will want this win, of course. Penta only on a +2 is not great at all for him after 38 matches. Of course, he's former tag team champion as well, only held the belts, well, they never successfully defended them, did they? They won them at Slammiversary, and then they went on to lose them straight away against the Hardy Boys at SummerSlam. The Hardy Boys will be defending those belts, though. What are you looking at, Kitty Cat? I hate when the cat just stares into a vacant corner of the room. She's seen something, her head's following something. There's nothing there at all. That is really creepy. Yeah. So the Hardy Boys they will need to defend those tag team championships next week, I believe, at When Worlds Collide. Do we involve the Lucha Brothers? I'm not sure, to be honest. I mean, I would like to involve them, but there's so many cool matches that I think Rey Fénix and Penta could be doing as single stars that I feel like putting them in the tag team division for that week could be a little bit distracting. So I think I might not do that. Penta over the top, underneath, and then a knee in the gut. Now up on the middle rope there, Mil Máscaras. In with a moonsault attempt. Penta moving out of the way. And there's the boot right in the back as well. Chop across the chest there by Penta. Big boot into the back. And now Penta wrenching back at the arm. We've seen this before. In with the arm breaker. There's the pin. It's only a 2 count. Mil Máscaras spinning Penta around and keeps the leg hooked in with the German suplex. Very cool. Mil Máscaras now pulling Penta back into the middle of the ring. I don't even know what his finisher maneuver is, to be honest. I'm not that up on a lot of these people. I like to use them, I've heard of them, but I don't know a lot about them. That's the problem, hence why we end up in these Google sessions. As arm breaker once again by Penta, really working that arm over. Potentially maybe a submission in the future. It's not something that he's very well known for, but when you do that much damage to the arm, it's a distinct possibility. Máscaras though with a cheeky roll up on Penta. Only a 1 count. And a head scissors locked in now. Máscaras now with a boot into the back of the head. Again looking for it, but Penta with a strike into the gut. Strike into the spine, now sending Mil Máscaras off the ropes. In with the sling blade. There's the pin attempt for the 1. The 2. Nope, only a 1 count. And Penta now looking for the pump handle. Nice. The pump handle driver. There's the pin. Only a 2 count, but it's getting closer and closer for Penta here. Penta bringing Máscaras back up to a standing base. Now going to spring over the top, in with the crossbody. Penta now with Máscaras up on the shoulders. In with a Death Valley driver as well, middle of the ring. So we've got some big matches up for you tomorrow. 6 matches tomorrow. Bullet Club, War Dogs, Clark Connors and Driller Maloney take on War Machine. Nice shoulder breaker once again by Penta. Thunder Rosa, Dallas, Natsuko Tora and Mickey Knuckles in a 4-way elimination hardcore championship #1 contendership match. That's a lot of words. Mystico Commander and Hologram in a triple threat. Minoru Suzuki versus John Moxley in an underground #1 contendership match. Brodito versus FTR. And Antonio Inoki versus Sting. So a lot of big matches tomorrow. Running in with the Mexican Destroyer. And Penta only enough for the 2 count. Penta now waiting for Mil Máscaras to get back up to a standing base. Spins him round again. In with the pen. This time. It's going to be enough to secure the victory here over Mil Máscaras. Big win there for Penta. His first singles win of the year as well. So that moves him up to a 0 for the year, plus 3 overall. Whereas Mil Máscaras now then moves down to a 0 overall after 3 matches, minus 1 for the year. But like I said, I think Mil Máscaras has got to be somebody we're going to utilise over the next couple of weeks as part of When Worlds Collide. As an opponent, I think so anyway. We'll have a look and see what else we can do for Hogan, whatever Mexican legends there are. It does work. Don't get me wrong, it does work. Let me see. Who are some legends of AAA? That's what ChatGPT says. Some legends of AAA. Antonio Peña, Perro Aguayo, Conan, Octagon, Mascara Sagrada, Cien Caras, La Parca. That was the early 1990s. That's probably the right time we should be doing this, to be honest. Mid-1990s, El Hijo del Santo, Eddie Guerrero and Love Machine Art Bar, Rey Mysterio Jr., Psychosis, Juventud Guerrera, Blue Panther. Okay. There's some options there. It doesn't really bring up Mil Máscaras. I think maybe Perro Aguayo, which we do have a call for because we're using him on Sunday in his first match in this universe mode, to be facing off against Kenta Kobashi in an underground match. So potentially that's an option. And maybe someone, I feel like Conan in the early 1990s. I don't think Conan versus Hogan to be that entertaining of a match, to be honest. Maybe I'm leaning towards potentially La Parca. I'll have to have a look and see what's available, I suppose. I mean, you've got El Santo himself as well, haven't you, really? Who knows? Either way, that is the end of the match and end of today's videos. Hope you've enjoyed. Like I said, tomorrow we're bombarding you with 6 Bullet Club War Dogs, Clark Connors and Driller Maloney versus War Machine, Eric and Ivar, Thunder Rosa, Dallas, Natsuko Tora, Mickey Knuckles, hardcore #1 contendership match. Winner will face off against Aja Kong at Forbidden Door. Mystigo, Commander and Hologram triple threat rules. Minoru Suzuki versus John Moxley in an underground #1 contendership match. The winner will get Razor at Forbidden Door. Brodito versus FTR, the first match for Brodito as a tag team in our universe mode up against FTR. And of course, Antonio Inoki, this time without the Lucha Libre moveset, goes up against Sting. I'm Olivia Levy. Good night. God bless. I'll be the same. Goodbye.